Welcome to Nuclear Learning, an online initiative produced by the Stimson Center to facilitate the study of nuclear competition and dangers in South Asia. Our first open online course, Nuclear South Asia, is available free of charge at nuclearlearning.org. In this video, we speak with Ankit Panda, a senior editor at the Diplomat. We discuss China and India's relations with Bhutan and the potential trajectories of these relationships in the aftermath of the Doklam standoff.
So what is the relationship that India and China each maintain with Bhutan today? These relationships are very different. It's probably easier to begin with India, which has long been Bhutan's ally. The two countries have had a treaty of friendship and cooperation since 1948, a treaty that was revised in 2007 after Bhutan transitioned to constitutional monarchy from absolute monarchy. India's relationship with Bhutan has been a major source of contention during this standoff, and an interesting data point here is Bhutanese public opinion. Bhutan chose to exercise what several analysts have called strategic silence during the Doklam crisis. It was a small country, and the government chose not to make too many statements. In fact, it only released a single statement through its foreign ministry clarifying the events in mid-June. Clarifying what transpired, the statement made no mention of India. India, by contrast, sees itself as Bhutan's protector, Bhutan's important ally, and India's decision to intervene in Doklam, leading to the start of the standoff, was actually backed in part by a collective security assumption that India wouldn't allow Bhutan to deal with this Chinese People's Liberation Army activity by itself. And the Indian statement that came out from the Foreign Ministry in late June clarified that India's actions were carried out in consultation with the Bhutanese government. And that also has become clear since the conclusion, or rather not the conclusion, but the disengagement at Doklam in August. It became clear that India and Bhutan had been coordinating throughout the crisis. So at least on the level of government-to-government relations, India and Bhutan continue to remain close. But I think we'll see with the 2018 parliamentary elections if Bhutanese politics and the public at large have a degree of resentment about their relationship with India. We've seen some signs that this may be under strain. Analysts who've looked at social media in Bhutan have noticed that many Bhutanese feel that this standoff put their tiny country between these two Himalayan giants without really any agency of their own. So we might see this play out in the country's domestic politics, and that might have effects on how the India-Bhutan relationship develops. China-Bhutan, they don't have normalized diplomatic relations. Bhutan is the only one of China's neighbors, apart from India, where it has unsettled land borders. The Bhutanese and the Chinese have engaged in multiple rounds of border negotiations to no avail, about 24 rounds, and they maintain an unofficial channel of communication in New Delhi, where both have diplomatic representatives. So the Chinese ambassador in New Delhi is an important channel of communication with Bhutan. The Doklam dispute is interesting in the context of those border talks between China and Bhutan because we've heard from previous accounts that Bhutan may have been willing to make concessions in the Doklam sector in exchange for concessions in other sectors in its border dispute with China, leading to perhaps a comprehensive resolution of all of its disputes with China and a normalization of diplomatic relations. It's unclear where those talks stand. Those are highly secretive talks. They've never been successfully reported on. We don't know exactly what was on the table. So for now, I would take that as heavily in the realm of rumor, let's say. But it is something that could come to bear again on how Bhutan-China relations develop from here.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit nuclearlearning.org to enroll in Nuclear South Asia.